Hello everyone, I'm Benjamin Cure. Welcome to the Benjamin Cure Show. There's so much to get to. This past week will go down in sports history as one of the biggest weeks ever. And although a lot happened, we have to start with a clear favorite. Tom Brady is coming back to the NFL for his 23rd season. In a Sunday night tweet, Brady announced his return, saying, "These past 2 months, I've realized my place is still on the field and not in the stands. That time will come, but it's not now. I love my teammates and I love my supportive family. They make it all possible. I'm coming back for my 23rd season in Tampa. Unfinished business, LFG." Tom Brady, the ultimate competitor. Ready to retire? We're talking about a man who, after 22 seasons, 7 Super Bowl wins, 5 Super Bowl MVPs, 3 NFL MVPs, and 15 Pro Bowl selections, finished his announcement by saying, "Unfinished business." No, in his heart of hearts, Tom Brady was not ready to walk away. Definitely not at 44 years old, after leading the NFL in yards passing, touchdowns, completions, and attempts in 2021. Definitely not after coming in second place for MVP votes this past season. And definitely not after coming to the realization that if he did return, he'd have a strong chance at being the NFC's number 1 seed and earning the bye and heading back to the NFC Championship game. And if you disagree, let's go through the competition. The 49ers have yet to pick a leader for their franchise. As much as the organization claims to love Trey Lance, the coaches and ownership have been hesitant to move away from Jimmy Garoppolo. Coach Kyle Shanahan's game plan doesn't require a superstar quarterback. It's a run-heavy offense that capitalizes on the roster's current speed, agility, and athleticism, but not at the quarterback position. They found plenty of success with Jimmy G at the helm. So at least for next season, they're a mystery. Green Bay. I have no idea what they're going to do with the limited flexibility that they have. And sure, it's the easiest division in the NFL. They'll probably win 12 to 13 games with Aaron Rodgers leading the way. But there's trouble in paradise. Davante Adams has reportedly informed the Packers that he will not play under a franchise tag. The only receiver that Aaron Rodgers trusts is Davante Adams. And if you don't believe me, pull up the tape. In the biggest game of the season, the divisional against San Francisco, in a game that the Packers should have had no problems winning in Lambeau, Aaron Rodgers doesn't trust anyone else. The box score read, Davante Adams, 9 receptions, 90 yards. Aaron Jones, who's a great running back, but not a receiver, finished with 9 receptions and 129 yards. Here's the problem for the Packers, the problem that they've been having. After those 2 guys, Aaron doesn't trust any of the other weapons around him. Other than Adams and Jones, only 2 other players made a single catch for Green Bay during that game. Allen Lazard, 1 reception. Mercedes Lewis, 1 reception. You cannot walk into the NFL playoffs and game plan to force the ball to only 2 guys and expect to win. The league is too evenly matched. If the athletes on the field can't stop it, the coaches will call play formations that will. They'll turn what you thought was your greatest strength into your biggest weakness. If the Packers can't come to an agreement with Davante Adams, and he forces his way out, or he doesn't play, or he doesn't have that great a relationship with Aaron as previous years, because Aaron's contract is the one debilitating Green Bay's financial commitment to him, it's going to be a problem for everyone in Wisconsin. Live by the sword, die by the sword. If your whole offensive game plan consists of Aaron and Davante going night in and night out, lighting it up, then Adams has to see the field. Just when the Packers front office thought the drama was over by resolving things with Aaron, they've got another fire to put out. Amari Cooper has been traded to the Cleveland Browns in exchange for a 2022 5th-round pick and a 6th-round pick. Going into the offseason, the Browns knew that they had to rebuild Baker's receiving corps. Odell Beckham Jr. was blamed unfairly for many of Cleveland's struggles. He left and in the same season won a Super Bowl. And he was an integral part of that team. He proved that he wasn't the problem. 5-time Pro Bowler Jarvis Landry. He was just released from the Browns. It looks like Cleveland really wants to make the Mayfield experiment work. They're supporting him. All of the moves that they've made this offseason point in the direction that they're giving him a fresh start. They're telling Baker, hey, help me help you. We're going to get you some new players and very worthy elite talent. But they're also telling Baker, hey, you've got a season to turn this around. That division cannot be won through mediocrity. The AFC North is nothing to scoff at. The Ravens, historically great defenses with a strong offense. Right now, they're not contractually committed to their quarterback long term, but Lamar Jackson already won an MVP. He's actively proving that he can lead a team to victory. The Steelers, they always find a way. Head coach Mike Tomlin, that man demands excellence. Pittsburgh demands excellence. They've got stars in key positions. On their worst night, they'll give any team in the league a run for their money. The Browns are not even the biggest team in the state of Ohio anymore. The Cincinnati Bengals, they came in with all that swagger, that explosive offense, their underrated, scrappy defense, their superstar quarterback. And they made a run to the Super Bowl, where they were a single quarter away from being NFL champions in just their second year of this rebuild under Joe Burrow. How long has Cleveland been trying to figure this out? How long have they been trying to crack it? Amari Cooper looked like a great move for Baker Mayfield. Elite wide receiver, elite route runner, an excellent addition to any offense. But how far can Cooper take Baker? Baker's strength coming out of college was never his arm strength or his mobility. It was his accuracy. Coming out of college, quarterbacks in the NFL are supposed to sharpen their tools. They're supposed to improve on their strengths. But after Baker's run in Cleveland, we can't talk about his accuracy as being one of his strengths. FantasyPros.com ranked their advanced quarterback stats week 1 through 18. In that stretch, Baker's accuracy rating of 61% only ranked better than 5 of the top 32 quarterbacks. Baker now has an elite receiver, a weapon with some amazing footwork and some of the sharpest route running in the league. But it's not what Baker needed. He needs a receiver with a catch radius, someone to get the 50-50 balls, to make the contested catches. If Mayfield was a field general, and he was someone who could put the ball anywhere, on any blade of grass on the field, at any time, a precise, clean-cut receiver would have been the X factor for that offense. But that's not the situation the Browns are in. And they're taking Amari Cooper's massive contract. Cleveland, you can't fit a square peg into a round hole. Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson will not face criminal charges in connection with sexual misconduct allegations. Last Friday, a grand jury declined to indict him following a police investigation that was sparked by the lawsuits filed by 22 women who have accused him of harassment and sexual assault. Now, Watson is still defending himself from civil suits, but the criminal charges are the ones that were really preventing Watson from seeing the field or being traded. Many teams were willing to trade for Watson earlier in the season, but they all had one thing in common. They wanted the criminal charges taken care of. It was a non-negotiable point in every deal, and that's why even with all the rumors flying around, we never saw any moves made at the deadline. The asking price remains the same for Watson. It's 3 first-round picks. According to Ian Rappaport, the Saints and Panthers have already made trade offers for Watson. We're also hearing that the Falcons and their administration are particularly fond of Deshaun's on-field abilities. They could make a move for the 26-year-old quarterback. Even the Browns are reportedly debating whether or not they should go all in on Deshaun. When the news came out on Friday, I had a dark horse candidate, which was the Buccaneers. Maybe their picks didn't have the same value, or they didn't have the picks that other teams had, but they have tremendous talent that I thought they could have dealt to make their pick for Deshaun. They have some of the best defensive players in the league, elite offensive skill positions, top-tier wide receivers. I thought the Buccaneers could have told the Texans, hey, here's Ndamukong Suh, here's Vita Vea, and a first-round pick. But the ultimate competitor, Brady, is back, and they no longer have a need for Deshaun in Tampa Bay. Wherever Deshaun goes, however these civil suits play out, it's going to be interesting to watch this court case. Because even after the trial, it's 2022. Watson still has to contend with the court of public opinion, and his future team will have to contend with those circumstances as well. Depending on how much evidence there is, or how damning the facts may be for Watson as this continues to unravel, the public sentiment and feelings towards Watson could force the NFL's hand. The commissioner's exempt list will ultimately be what keeps Watson off the field. Now, depending on what new information the public and the league learn, that will determine how much time Watson is unavailable to play. Baseball is back. When the news came out, I thought for sure this was going to be the headline of our show. But it wasn't the biggest story this week. It wasn't even the biggest story that broke that day on Friday. Deshaun Watson was. Nonetheless, the contentious MLB lockout lasted 99 days before the league and Players Association came to terms with each other. The 5-year collective bargaining agreement will increase pay for young players and better incentivize teams to compete, along with the other provisions. In the days prior to the agreement being finalized, the deal almost fell apart because of the creation and implementation of an international draft. Owners and players quickly expressed their excitement for the sport's return. They seemed very excited to be back and to have moved past the ominous cloud that is the Grim Reaper chasing baseball. The season will for the first time include full-time designated hitters in the National League and conclude with expanded playoffs with 12 teams, 6 in each league, making it the first time in a 162-game season. That's a lot of baseball compressed from early April into November. So baseball fans, get excited and stay excited. I'm very glad that the situation has been resolved, regardless of baseball's decreasing market. I'm excited to watch these athletes compete, and I look forward to seeing what moves are made in free agency for some of the MLB's best athletes. Well, that's all for this week's show. Don't forget that March Madness is here. Games start this Thursday. Make sure to fill out your brackets before game time to see if you have what it takes to achieve what's never been done before, a perfect March Madness bracket. We'll talk about the results and the potential storybook finishes next week. But until then, remember to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss an episode. Until then, I'm Benjamin Kier. You're watching The Benjamin Kier Show. I'll see all of you next Tuesday.